Today we're replacing shocks on an Isuzu Rodeo. This project's a whole lot easier than most people think. Now your vehicle may have struts up front and shocks in the rear, possibly even struts all the way around, but if it's like the Rodeo, it's an easy project because it's got shocks at every corner. Now, what do the shocks do? Ultimately, this shock has a really important job in stopping the vehicle. Its job is to keep this rubber contact patch of the tire in touch with the road as much as possible. Really important when you're under heavy braking and you're on a bumpy road surface. All you need to do this job safely is a nice level surface like our concrete floor, a few jack stands, a few basic hand tools, and of course, some new shocks. To loosen the top mounting bolt on some shock applications, you need your wrench and a pair of vice grips to grab the flat of the post and to keep it from spinning as you back the nut off. There, that came off easily. Go ahead and remove the nut, the top washer, and the bushing. You got new hardware with the new shock. Now, one sure test of the shock before you pull it out and take the bottom bolt out, compress it and watch to see if it rebounds. Here is the evidence that we need to replace these shocks. There's no rebound at all in the old shock. And just like I did up on the top bolt, I shot a little bit of PV blaster on the bottom mounting bolt a few minutes ago. It makes removal a whole lot easier. You just need a basic box end wrench, a basic socket, a little bit of torque, and out she comes. Back the nut off, pull the lower mounting bolt out. There's the old, extremely worn shock. On the new shock, make sure you get your hardware right. It goes washer, then bushing. And go ahead and mount the shock. And I like to put the lower mounting bolt in first. Get it seated, reinstall the lower mounting bolt, the nut to hold it, now to the top. All right, with the bottom of the shock secure, it's time to wrench up. You've got to compress the top half of the shock a little bit to get it to go back in the mounting hole. Push down, right up into the hole, top bushing, top washer, new nut, tighten it down. Just take it down till it's good and snug. You don't want to over compress those rubber bushings. And finally, tighten the lower mounting bolt, get it good and snug. You're ready to move to the back. There we go. We've got the top of both rear shocks loose. Now we loosen the lower mounting bolt and pop off the old shock. Compress the top just like we did up front. Slide it right down and out off the bottom mounting post. With the top of the rear shock good and tight, the next step is to cut the mounting strap that keeps the shock compressed while you install it. As the bottom mounting hoop goes by the mounting post, right over top of the mounting stud, tap it on, tighten down the nut, and we're done.